Have you ever woken up, looked at the clock, and felt the weight of your dreams pressing down on you? You're exhausted, yet the day ahead feels like a repeat of every other. The constant struggle, the endless hustle, but somehow the finish line is always just out of reach. Every time you try to move forward, something pulls you back. You start wondering, why is it so hard to achieve what I want? Why does it feel like I'm always running in circles? You've put in the work, yet you still find yourself feeling stuck. Maybe you've even convinced yourself that this is all you can expect from life. But what if I told you that this pattern doesn't have to be your reality? What if I told you that the very thing keeping you in that cycle is actually within your control to change? What if your life, your success, your dreams, everything you've been striving for could start to shift with just a small change, one that's completely under your control? What if the difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't about working harder, but working smarter? Imagine if, instead of relying on big life-altering decisions or breakthroughs that never seem to come, you could make a shift in your daily routine, your habits, your mindset that would start to unlock the life you've always dreamed of. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just the power of small, consistent daily actions that have a profound impact on your future. It might sound simple, but that's exactly why it works. Small actions, practiced consistently, compound into monumental shifts. The kind of shifts that take you from feeling stuck, lost, and overwhelmed to motivated, focused, and clear on your path forward. Now, here's the best part. These actions can start today. By simply watching this video and taking a few minutes each day to commit to this new way of thinking and living, you'll begin to transform your life in ways you can't even imagine right now. But what if every morning was a new opportunity? What if instead of feeling drained and hopeless, you woke up with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly what steps to take to move closer to your goals? What if every day you were building momentum, moving toward your dreams, even in small ways? It's not some distant fantasy. It's a reality that's just waiting for you to step into it. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly how the most successful people on the planet didn't get to where they are by chance. They didn't have some magical breakthrough. What they did was simple, but powerful. They adopted habits and routines that gradually led them from where they were to where they wanted to be. They didn't do it all at once, and they didn't do it alone. The key to their success was consistency. Small actions repeated every day over time. What we're going to uncover today is not a quick fix, but a sustainable, long-term approach to success. It's a roadmap to help you find the freedom, the success, and the peace of mind you've been searching for. And the best part? It's all within your grasp. You're not waiting for something outside of you to change. You're stepping into your power by changing how you show up every single day. I know exactly what it feels like to wake up each day, feeling like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle. Every morning you rise, and yet it's as if you're already drained before your feet even touch the ground. You drag yourself through another day, repeating the same tasks, facing the same struggles, fighting the same inner battles. The world outside keeps moving, but you feel like you're not going anywhere. You try to get ahead, to make progress, but every step feels like you're walking through quicksand. The more you try to push forward, the more it feels like you're slipping back into the same place you started. Maybe you've been working tirelessly, putting in hours, making sacrifices, grinding day in and day out. But somehow, the results don't match the effort. It's as if the harder you push, the further you seem from the life you imagined for yourself. And at the end of the day, when you lie in bed, there's that haunting thought that lingers. Is this really all there is? At some point, we all feel like we're not living up to our true potential. It's almost like you know you're capable of so much more, but for some reason, you just can't break through. You see others living their dreams, chasing their passions, achieving things that seem almost impossible, and you start wondering, what's wrong with me? You wonder, why does it seem so easy for them? Why can't I do that too? And then the doubt creeps in. The voice inside your head that tells you you're not enough, that you don't have what it takes,
feels like
that
you're
maybe
stuck
you're
in a
just not cut
maze,
out for success.
and
No matter how hard you try, you just can't find the way out. You start questioning everything, your choices, your path, your worth. You see people around you who seem to have it all together, and it just adds to the weight you're carrying. It's almost as if they've unlocked some secret you're not privy to. No matter how much you try to mimic their success, something inside you whispers, it's too late for you. You're not good enough. But here's the thing. That voice, it's lying. The same voice that tells you you're not good enough is the one that's trying to keep you from your breakthrough. The truth is, you're not stuck. You're just not aligned. You've been working hard, but you haven't yet found the right strategy, the right mindset, or the right approach to tap into your true potential. You don't need to work harder. You need to work smarter, and that's exactly what we're going to explore here today. This is the reality that so many of us wake up to every single day. It's like a fog. Everything feels heavy, and you're just moving through life with no clear direction. You check the time and wonder where it went. The day slips by, but you feel like you've barely accomplished anything. You keep pushing forward, but the end goal feels farther and farther away. And the thought of living like this forever? It's overwhelming. It drains your energy, it clouds your mind, and it leaves you feeling powerless. But deep down, there's a part of you that knows you're meant for something more. You feel it, that desire for something better, something bigger, something more fulfilling. You know that there's a way out of this cycle, but you're not sure where to start. You see the life you want, but it feels so distant, so unattainable. It feels like the gap between where you are now and where you want to be is too wide to cross, and the more you try, the harder it gets to believe in yourself. But let me tell you this, the path to change, the path to success, is not as far away as it seems. It's not hidden in some distant future that you'll never reach. The reality is that the people you look up to, the successful entrepreneurs, the athletes, the creatives, they've all faced the exact same struggles. They've had days where they felt like giving up. They've felt like they weren't good enough. They've faced self-doubt and uncertainty. But what they did differently is this. They didn't let those feelings control them. They didn't listen to the voices telling them they weren't enough. They used those doubts as fuel to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep showing up day after day. You don't need to wait for a big break, a huge opportunity, or a dramatic moment to change your life. You need to start with the small, consistent actions that, over time, compound into massive transformation. The journey doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be consistent, and that's the key. Remember, every person who has ever achieved anything significant in life has gone through exactly what you're going through now. They didn't have some secret formula or shortcut. They didn't bypass the challenges. They faced them head on. They understood that success is a process, not a moment. It's not about waiting for the perfect time, the perfect situation, or the perfect opportunity. It's about showing up every day, no matter what. It's about taking that next step, even when you're unsure of where it will lead. It's about putting in the work, even when it feels like nothing is happening. So, if you've been feeling like you're not making progress, like you're stuck in an endless loop of frustration and doubt, just know this, the journey is unfolding. Right now, in this moment, you are taking the first step towards something greater. You're already on the path, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools, the mindset, and the action plan you need to break free from the cycle and start moving forward. But here's the truth. You don't need to work harder. You need to work smarter. The key to success isn't found in how many hours you put in or how much you sacrifice. The real key lies in your mindset and the daily habits you cultivate. Think about it. You've been working hard, pushing through every obstacle, and yet something feels missing. You're not seeing the results you want because without the right mindset and the right actions, even hard work can feel like you're moving mountains with your bare hands. Success isn't built on sheer effort alone. It's built on intention, on small actions, repeated consistently with purpose and clarity. It's about aligning your daily habits with the vision you have for your future. Your habits become the foundation for your success, the building blocks of your dream life. Every small action, no matter how insignificant it seems at the moment, compounds over time, creating an unstoppable momentum that will eventually push you forward. Let me tell you about someone who changed his entire life with a simple daily habit. You've probably heard of Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, the man who revolutionized the way we live, work, and communicate. But what you may not know is that Jobs didn't start out perfect. In fact, he faced rejection and failure after failure. He was kicked out of the company he founded, he struggled with doubt and uncertainty, and he even had moments where people didn't believe in his vision. But despite all that, he showed up every single day. He focused relentlessly on his vision, on what he believed was possible, and on the small daily actions that would move him closer to that vision. Jobs didn't achieve success overnight. It wasn't a matter of talent or sheer luck. It was his mindset and his daily habits that drove him forward. He kept showing up, making decisions that aligned with his long-term goals, and committing to the process even when the road ahead looked unclear. You see, Jobs' genius wasn't just about inventing the next big thing. It was about his daily discipline. He made sure that every day, no matter how difficult, he was focusing on the bigger picture. And slowly, over time, that vision transformed into something the world would never forget. Think about it. Every great success story you know follows the same pattern. From Oprah Winfrey to Michael Jordan, from Elon Musk to J.K. Rowling. All of them faced immense obstacles. All of them failed multiple times. But what they did differently was commit to one thing. They never gave up on their vision, and they kept showing up each day, building their success brick by brick. You see, it wasn't about doing everything at once. Jobs wasn't working harder than everyone else. What made him stand out was his ability to see the big picture and break it down into small, manageable actions. Day after day, he made choices that aligned with his vision. And that's how he went from being fired from Apple to creating the world's most valuable company. Just like Steve Jobs, others like Elon Musk, Oprah, and Michael Jordan have all faced setbacks, faced doubts, and struggled in their own ways. But they all understood this one thing. Success isn't a single moment. It's the culmination of small, consistent actions. It's about getting up after every fall and continuing the journey, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it feels. You don't have to be a genius or have a special talent to achieve extraordinary things. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The ones who succeed show up every day, even when they don't feel like it. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They make each day count. They make small changes, tweak their habits, and grow incrementally. And one day, they wake up to find they've built something remarkable, not because they worked harder than anyone else, but because they were consistent. So what does this mean for you? It means that your success isn't some far-off dream. It's within your reach. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. You need to build the right habits day after day. Start by focusing on what matters most, aligning your actions with your vision, and committing to the process. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that you have the power to change your life with just a few small habits. Imagine looking back a year from now and realizing that the small actions you took every day have compounded into something amazing. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's the result of your habits, your mindset, and your consistency. And today, right now, is the perfect time to begin. I've been there. I've stood where you're standing now, unsure of where to turn, wondering if things would ever change. A few years ago, I was at my lowest point. I had a dream, a vision of where I wanted to be, but the path to getting there seemed unclear, and honestly, a bit overwhelming. My life felt stagnant. I felt like I was failing in so many areas, at work, at home, in my personal growth. There was this nagging feeling that no matter how much I worked, how hard I tried, I wasn't making any real progress. The frustration built up, and with every passing day, I began to lose belief in myself. I kept wondering, but here's what's wrong with everything for me? Why can't I get it together? One day, in the middle of all that confusion and frustration, I realized something powerful. I had the ability to change my situation. The key wasn't in doing more or working harder. The key was in changing the way I approached each day. And that's when I decided to take control of my routine. It wasn't about waiting for some magical moment or big break to turn things around. I realized that if I could change the way I started my day, I could shift the way I lived my life. I started small. It wasn't some dramatic overhaul. In fact, it was just a few simple changes. The first thing I did was start setting an intention every morning. I would wake up and, before even getting out of bed, I'd take a deep breath and tell myself, "Today is the day I make progress." Then I started practicing gratitude, even for the smallest things. I would write down 3 things I was grateful for each morning, and it wasn't always easy at first. Sometimes it was just simple things like, "I'm thankful for a warm cup of coffee," or "I'm thankful for the ability to work toward my dreams." But that gratitude started to shift my mindset. It reminded me that I had more than I thought, and that the road ahead wasn't as hopeless as I once felt. Then, I committed to 15 minutes of focus every day, just 15 minutes, to work toward my biggest goal. I didn't have to carve out hours at a time. I didn't need a grand gesture. I just needed small, intentional bursts of focus that added up over time. Some days I wrote, some days I brainstormed, and some days I just planned. But the key was consistency. That 15-minute window each day slowly became a habit, and eventually it turned into something bigger. It turned into momentum. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was messy. There were days when I wanted to quit. There were moments when I thought I wasn't making progress at all. But something shifted inside me. The more I practiced this new routine, setting intentions, practicing gratitude, and focusing every day, the more I started to see small wins. At first, they were barely noticeable. I was still waking up tired. My tasks were still there, piling up. But every day I showed up, even for those 15 minutes, I was laying the foundation for something bigger. And slowly, as the days passed, I began to see a shift. It wasn't just in my results. It wasn't just in the progress I was making. It was in my mindset. I started waking up with a sense of purpose. I started feeling like I was in control of my life again. Those 15 minutes of focused effort every day were changing me. They were turning that feeling of failure into something more powerful. Hope, confidence, and belief in myself. I realized that the small actions I was taking, no matter how insignificant they seemed, were beginning to compound into something I couldn't ignore. I'll be honest, the change didn't happen overnight, but it happened day by day. And with each passing day, I saw more and more transformation, not just in the results, but in myself. I realized that the path to success isn't about the big leaps or the instant wins. It's about the small, consistent steps, the ones you take every day when no one else is watching. It's about doing the work when it feels hard and showing up even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, you don't need to wait for a perfect moment to change your life. It doesn't have to be some grand gesture or big decision. You can start right now with small, simple changes. It's the daily actions, the intentions you set every morning, and the mindset you cultivate that will change everything. It's not about how hard you work. It's about how focused you are and how consistent you remain, even in the face of challenges. And just like that, transformation begins. Step 1. Morning mindset. Start your day with gratitude. I can't stress this enough. The way you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day. Before you even get out of bed, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as the warmth of your bed, a loved one, or the opportunity to chase your dreams. Write down 3 things you're thankful for every morning. This doesn't take long, but it will change your mindset in a profound way. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It pulls you out of negativity and primes your mind for a day full of possibilities. You see, we often focus on the problems and challenges in front of us, but when you shift your attention to the good things already in your life, you start the day with positivity, and that positivity will follow you throughout the day. Focus on one small goal daily. Next, focus on one small task every day that moves you closer to your goal. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Trying to achieve everything in a single day is a surefire way to burn out and feel overwhelmed. Instead, pick one thing that you can do today that will inch you closer to your bigger goal. It doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be meaningful. Maybe it's writing one paragraph of your book, making one phone call to move a project forward, or taking a 15-minute walk toward a healthier lifestyle. The key is consistency, not intensity. It's the small actions, taken consistently, that build momentum. Every time you accomplish one small goal, you're proving to yourself that change is possible. And that's what builds confidence, seeing that day after day, you're moving closer to your dreams. Step 3. Visualize success. Spend a few minutes visualizing your future. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you've always dreamed of. Picture the success, the peace, the happiness, the accomplishments. Feel the emotions that come with achieving your goals. This practice isn't just about daydreaming. It's about creating a mental image of your success that primes your mind for achievement. When you visualize, you're telling your brain that what you want is possible. You're creating a blueprint for your success. And as you continue to visualize, you start to take actions that align with that vision, because your brain has already accepted that it's within reach. Step 4. Reflect and adapt. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on your progress. Look back at the actions you took, the decisions you made, and the challenges you faced. Ask yourself, what worked today? What didn't? It's not about beating yourself up or dwelling on what went wrong. It's about learning and adapting. Success isn't a straight line. It's a process of trial and error. By reflecting on your day, you're giving yourself the opportunity to adjust your strategy. Maybe you realize that you spent too much time on tasks that didn't move you closer to your goals, or perhaps you saw how a small change you made brought you closer to what you want. Use those insights to adapt for tomorrow. And remember, every day is a new chance to improve, to do better, to move closer to your dreams. These 4 simple steps are the foundation of transformation. They may seem small, but when practiced consistently, they will change your life. Gratitude grounds you, small goals give you momentum, visualization aligns you with your success, and reflection helps you adapt and grow. Together, they create a powerful cycle that keeps you on the path to success. Now, here's the most important part. Are you ready to change your life? It's simpler than you think. You don't need to wait for some magical moment, and you don't need to make drastic changes all at once. All you need to do is commit to the process, starting today. It begins with small, consistent actions, habits that will compound over time, building the life you've always dreamed of. Imagine what could happen if just for the next 30 days, you focused on taking small steps every day. By simply setting your intention each morning, practicing gratitude, visualizing your success, and reflecting on your progress, you'll begin to see the transformation happen right before your eyes. I challenge you to start today. Don't wait until tomorrow or next week or someday. Start now. Practice these steps every single day for the next 30 days. And when you come back here tomorrow, we'll build on this. I'll be right here with you, guiding you every step of the way, because transformation doesn't happen in isolation. We're in this together. You have the power to change your life, but it all starts with a single step. Just one. Don't overcomplicate it. Start small, stay consistent, and you will be amazed by the momentum you create. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below and let me know. What's one small habit you're going to start today? Whether it's writing in a gratitude journal, taking 15 minutes to focus on your goals, or simply setting your intention for the day, share it with us. Let's inspire each other and build a community of people who are all committed to making progress, one day at a time. Together, we can hold each other accountable, encourage each other, and share our victories. So comment "I'm ready" below if you're committed to this journey. Let's take that first step toward the life we deserve, starting today. Remember, transformation isn't a race, it's a journey. And today, you've taken the first step. Keep going, because greatness is built in small moments, and this is just the beginning.